I am joined by my lovely co-host, Miss Rainisha Gale. Welcome back, my love.
Hello, everybody.
First off, I want to start off this episode with a early happy birthday to Rainisha, since we won't see her on Thursday. It's her birthday. And actually, tomorrow is her seventh wedding anniversary. So she just got good mojo all around her this week. Let's everybody give her a shout out. Happy birthday. Are we
Woo!
turning 21 this year?
Thank you. We are going to be forever 25.
All right. And without further ado, let's hop right on into it. Today's topic, we're talking all about relationships. So it seems like it's something normal, right? But everybody is not the best at relationships. I know sometimes I'm not. And there's more than one type of relationship. There's relationships with yourself, relationships in business, relationships interpersonally with family, your spouse, your children, and all of those relationships seems to have a impact on our lives, whether it be business or personal. So, Rainisha, start us off with the most important relationship to me is the relationship with yourself. What do you feel?
That is absolutely right. You have to have a relationship with yourself because if you're not good with yourself, you're not going to be good with anybody else. So if you don't know how to love yourself first, you can't love anybody. You would think that you love somebody, but you absolutely don't. Once you know how to love and care for yourself, then you're able to bring that love out onto your loved one in your business, in your friendship. When you're not happy with yourself, you're not happy with anything else.
That's very true. So, can you share with us some tips on how we can better love ourselves?
All right, so tips for me on better loving yourself is actually listening to yourself.
Mm,
A lot of people, you know, not only on the spirituality tips, but just take that moment, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, and just sit with yourself. Find out what it is that you need. Have a journal, take out a journal, write down your feelings. I feel like this. When this happens, I feel like this. If there's a situation going on in your life, sometimes writing out that situation and just looking at from every other perspective is good for you as well, instead of just taking the me role. So, you put on there, how did I feel about this situation? Did I overreact in this situation? Stuff like that. And it helps to heal you, and it helps for you to look at things differently. And that way, if that situation arises again, you don't make that same mistake.
that's absolutely true. And also, just besides reflecting on your past and how you could fix it going forward, just catering to yourself. Take a nice warm
Yes,
bath, take yourself shopping, give yourself some time to relax and take a nap. Do things that only you can pour into yourself, not other people. Like a facial mask if you're a woman, or if you're a man, go ahead and cut your hair and just close yourself off for the world. Do whatever you do, like take time for yourself to know yourself, love yourself. Once you love yourself and know yourself enough, then you'll teach people how to treat you. So if you have a negative
exactly.
relationship with yourself, other people, it's like your aura. It's what kind of energy that you're putting out there. So if you're not treating yourself correctly, the next person is not going to be able to treat you correctly. You show people how to treat you. So let's get into interpersonal, let's say friendships. What advice can you give? Because there's a lot of people who are just plain shy out here, like me. Um, there's people who just they don't know how to have conversations. What advice would you give people to just forming friendships?
Okay, so first off, you definitely have to have a friendship with yourself. So it's okay to look in the mirror and talk to yourself. You're not crazy,
Keep it
but
100
look
with
in the mirror,
yourself.
learn to talk to yourself. Be real. Now, as far as a friendship, I think the best rule of thumb across the board is treat people how you want to be treated. If you know that you wouldn't like somebody to do something to you, Don't do it to somebody else. Because if you wouldn't like it for yourself, what makes you think that they're gonna like it?
Absolutely.
So being considerate, being as honest as possible, and even and not because you're honest means that you have to be mean and rude, but be honest enough to open up and tell your friend the truth in a way where they can handle it. So of course, if you've had a friendship over a course of years, you know what your friend can handle and what your friend can't.
Absolutely.
So
And what types of icebreakers or conversations would you recommend people who are breaking out of their comfort zone to use?
mm,
Because
just breaking out of your
you yourself is a person is very outgoing. Like, you don't care how anybody sees you. If you're crazy or not, you're just like, hey, what's up? I'm Renisha. This is what I'm about. What are you about? So
all
how do
right.
you? Yeah. By the
So
way,
I
before
learned.
she gives us her answer, sorry to cut you off. For those watching, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I just want to let you know that our discussion is open for comments and questions. So if you are on Facebook and YouTube, you are able to comment on this video and I will be able to see it. Rainish and I will be able to see it and bring it up on screen and we will interact with you. So don't feel afraid, jump on in there. Tell us what your thoughts and tips are. If you're not on Facebook or YouTube, you want to get on there so that you can join us. Facebook and YouTube are both Alexis to South Florida Oasis. So I want to see y'all throw some comments in here. Blow it up. Go ahead, Renisha.
Now, as far as an icebreaker, I wouldn't know. To me personally, just be yourself. Be yourself. Be a light. Your energy brings people to you. I mean, there's a lot of times I'm going through things and people are like, "Man, you're going through all of that, but yet still you're still happy and you're still out there and you're outgoing. You would think that you have everything. I don't. I'm still working on it. I'm still perfecting my plan. That's what I like to call it. Um, and to tell you the truth about me, I wasn't always this outgoing.
Mm.
I used to I used to stay to myself. I wrote I used to write a lot in my journal. I was a big poem writer. I always wrote, like, I have books and books that I just write stuff. I write my feelings, you know, for years. I've always done that. I just, and people would get to know me and they'd be like, "Oh, you're so fun, you're so nice, you're so cool." But the first impression they used to have of me was she's mean because
Mm.
I always walked around, my face was screwed because I couldn't feel like I could trust anybody. And growing up in school, I got picked at so much because I was always the biggest. I was plus size growing up, and I couldn't fit this. And when I'm on the flag team, I can't wear the mini skirts like everybody else. I had a strict mom that you couldn't wear the short stuff. So I got picked on a lot. And then it went from being picked on a lot to I was always fighting because people picking on me. And then I was like, you're not going to disrespect me. So, I ended up having the persona of the bad girl because I was constantly fighting. But then when people got to know me, they were like, "Man, you're cool, you're fun." But people like to go by their first impressions,
Yeah.
and I had to learn that. I learned that the hard way. So I started learning that to keep a smile on your face, make you more approachable. When you're smiling, no matter what's going on in your life, nobody needs to know what's going on in your life unless they're in your private inner circle. Because not everybody wants to hear your problem. Not everybody wants to bring comfort to your problems. They just want something to gossip about.
That's
So,
very
you
true.
got to be very selective on who you tell your personal business to. That is a given. But just the way you carry yourself in general is what can help you. So if you walk with a smile, I don't care how bad things are, just try to smile, just nod. I mean, for me personally, I just nod at people and I say hello, and then they just start telling me their whole world, and then I end up in like a coaching session. But just being human. A lot of times people we walk around with so much hurt and anger that we forget that we're human and everybody else is human. And the less you expect of people, it's better You
Yeah.
know, if you keep looking at somebody as, oh, this is going to be my savior, this person's going to do this person's going to do that, you don't know that person's heart. You know what I'm
Expectations
saying?
are a
You know,
killer. Yeah.
I've exactly, I've had a lot of experiences in my life of people that were in my life that I helped, that I sent, put an olive branch out to, got them in a better position, and they never looked back.
Yeah.
But I can't sit there and cry about it because that was my purpose. And people got to understand that too. Sometimes you're there for a purpose
Absolutely.
to do something, do your job, and the fruits of your labor, you'll get your fruits. It might not be from that tree, but you're gonna get your fruit. You know, and you just stay positive and happy and just keep it moving. You know, if something bad is happening, you know, I've learned, and to be honest, within the last 6 months, even though I've been coaching, helping people for the last 3 years, I still have a lot to learn, and I had a lot to learn. And with this whole COVID, it was an eye opener. You know, you can't make money like you used to. You can't do the things you used to do. You can't go out for dinner. You know, it was hard. It was hard. And, you know, I sat back and it was almost like I went into a slump, which I haven't had in, I would say, at least 10 years. I have not felt so hopeless. And then it wasn't even, and it's not like I lost faith. I didn't even lose faith. I just kept saying, it's today the day. It's today the day it's gonna happen. It's today the good things gonna happen. Like I wake up every day, I'm like, it's today the day, you know. And I just held on to that, and I knew I was gonna come out of it. I just, you know, sometimes you just have to go into like hermit mode and just relax, you
Yeah.
know, and just stop talking and just write and think and pray and know that everything is going to be better. This is not the end. As long as you wake up and you could take that breath in the morning, you know it's not over. It's time to
Absolutely.
keep pushing.
So we have a few comments that I want to shed light on, but I also want to reply to a few things that you said. First and foremost, it's okay to rest because we cannot just keep going and keep going. We have to take a rest to rejuvenate ourselves so that we can get our creativity back. Oh my goodness. So we can get our creativity back and just keep going like never before. So it's okay to stop and smell the coffee, meditate, relax, whatever, because you're rejuvenating yourself. That's one. And number two, it's funny that you mentioned about your slump because I can really relate to your whole story about, I call it resting bitch face because that's what I have, and people told me I have resting bitch face all the time. But when you get to know me, I'm like this sweet, bubbly type of person. So first impressions, yeah, but they don't really give you what a person is really about until you get to know that person. Today on my
Hmm.
Instagram, I made a post just checking in with everybody because I realized, oh my God, we only have 2 months left in the year. And I know what I've been
Thank
feeling.
you. It's over.
It's not over because we still got to deal with this corona and being locked up and all that other stuff. So I just wanted to check in on my social media. How is everybody really doing? Like, are you okay mentally? Are you okay emotionally? And if you're not, that's okay. But you will find a way to get you to the other side. And people like to say, "Oh, this year's 2020, 2020 vision." No, honey, no. 2020 vision is for hindsight. For foresight, you need faith. That's the only thing that you can use to move forward is faith. And what did Vanish say? Is today the day that's going a good thing is going to happen. You only need faith the size of a mustard seed to keep you going every day. So let's get into these comments. We have Q who says, "Hello, Queen." Hi, Q. Welcome back. What's good? We're talking about relationships. So, do you feel like relationships are important, or is solo dolo the way to go? Keep everybody out of your business. Let me know. We also have Miss Bernadette who says, I'm sorry, hold on, let me make this a little bit smaller. Bernadette says, being honest and keeping it real. Love and respect yourself first, and definitely treat others as you'd want to be treated. Yes, Bernadette, I can agree with that. Being honest and keeping it real. Ain't no other way to do it. But there is a point where keeping it real becomes too real if you're in the fashion that you give it. There's a way to tell your girl, sis, that outfit is not doing the best for you. You can change it. Instead of saying, girl, you look terrible in that outfit. You know? What you sipping on over there?
My coconut water.
Oh, she's trying to stay fresh and hydrated. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome and thank you for joining. Remember that the comment section is open for you to join our conversation. Today's topic is all about friendships, relationships as a whole. First and foremost, you have to have a relationship with yourself. That's the most important thing to do. So we have shared some things that you can do with yourself. Take yourself out on a date. Date yourself. Um, just spend some quiet time with yourself. Really know what you like because you treat others how to treat you. Um, let's get into some business tips when it comes to relationships. In business, especially if you're going in this as an entrepreneur, really starting your business from a ground up, you need friends. You need people you can call on and be like, hey, let's do something together. Let's join our businesses together and spread awareness out here, or you scratch my back, I scratch your back until we can get, somewhere. What is key for you when it comes to business relationships?
Business relationship to me, to be honest, it's better to keep it professional. You don't want to get too personal because then when it's too personal, it gets. This is kind of why they always say family can't go into business together. It's okay to do your own thing and collaborate with each other. That seems to work good across the board. That's on my opinion. But as far as business relationship, it's important to always network, if you ask me. Knowing somebody to do something, even if it has nothing to do with your business or anything to do with what you're doing, it's still good to take that card. It's still good to add it to your Rolodex because you never know when a client is going to need that service. Referral service, I'm big on that referral thing. A lot of people are offering, if you refer me a customer, I give you a percentage, and that's a way to make money on your end. So, definitely always keeping other people's information, contact, learning, listening to them, knowing what they're doing. Don't just say, okay, like for instance, I'm a social service person. Alexis is real estate. You would think we wouldn't match or mix because she's more in financials, stuff of that nature. But believe it or not, we kind of collide and coexist in a sense. And one service helps each other because people that she run into when she's doing real estate are also people that can help with our other ventures that we do together. So you never want to just judge a book by its cover. And
Do
I'm
you
I'm
feel
pretty
like,
sure with this whole 2020 has taught us do not judge a book by a cover.
oh no, you never know what can pop up out of that book. Do you feel like you have to constantly stay in touch and stay top of mind when it comes to business relationships, or is it okay to just call somebody when you need them? Because I always feel so okay. I'm gonna put myself on blast.
But it's business. It's not your best friend. So when you need them,
Listen,
call.
I was taught when I first got into business as a real estate, my broker taught me that you really need to have an emotional connection with that person in order to make the relationship stick. But when practicing that, I can, it's just too much. It's just too much. Sometimes when you get too personal into the business, it becomes more of a emotional chaos than it is about the business. However, I feel terrible just taking down somebody's number and being like, well, I'm not really going to speak to you until something comes up and I need your help. Like, I just feel terrible just calling you
But
up
you're
out
not
of the
telling
blue.
them that. When you're building, you got to understand when you're building a connection. For instance, let's go back to how we met. We met when you were working where?
Don't even mention that shit.
Okay, she was working at this low ball, nasty place, okay? And she was the only ray of sunshine. So I walk in the building, and the evil, wicked witch of that place was looking at me to come to her desk, and I saw this beautiful lady over there, and I ran over to her. And then she said, you didn't have to go through this, and this, that, and the other. And then I think we sat there for about an hour for a transaction that was 10 minutes. We just connected because you felt my energy, I felt your energy. And what did I say to you right there and then? We can go in business, didn't I?
Yeah. And we did.
Okay. You
And we
gave me
did.
your
That's the crazy
number.
part.
But here's the joke. You gave me your number. I did not call you for a whole year.
It's true.
And you remembered me because you remembered that connection that we had. And
That's
that's
true.
what it is when you make that connection. Because you were like, oh, yes, I remember you. Because when you make a connection, that person stands out. Whether that person speaks to you next week or the week after, or a year or 2 years later. I know people who I haven't spoken to for 4 or 5 years, and they're like, oh, Renisha, I remember you. I'll never forget you. And people come back. Like, look, we have a not for profit. We're making our headway. We're doing everything to get everything up and running. Um, the 501(c) was something that we needed to do. That was an expense, and somebody came out of the shadows. That was somebody that I sat down and had a week-long extravaganza with this girl 10 years ago,
Wow.
and she's the one who took care of that expense for us because she said she wouldn't be where she is today if it wasn't for that talk that I gave her 10 years ago.
Wow.
So that's why you see you can't feel like sometimes when you plant a seed, you're gonna reap your harvest. And within the 10 years, me and her never spoke again like that.
Really?
We popped in and out on Facebook. Every now and again she'll send me a
Right, but
happy
so
Mother's
you
Day.
you did keep in touch a little bit, and that's what I'm saying. How do you just keep in touch a little bit? Like, hey girl, how you doing?
When
You doing good? Okay, cool.
you don't, but we didn't talk like that. She
No.
only pinged me on Facebook. I wouldn't call Facebook a conversation. Like she
Okay.
just send a me or do a like here or like there. Scrolling. She probably ran into my stuff, but we really did not have any more intimate conversation in the last 10 years.
So it's okay to get somebody's
It's
contact
okay.
and just be like, I'm gonna hit you up when I hit you up. Basically.
Exactly. It's fine. Once
Okay.
you once you plant that seed of love, of knowledge, of honesty, of care, people come back in your life. And it's so funny, like sometimes they venture off, they branch off, they do their own thing, but they're never gonna forget you. Because especially when you're there at somebody's lowest point.
That's
Like
true.
that day when I saw you in that office and we talked and we connected and we exchanged ideas. That particular time I was at my lowest point. Look what I had to do just to pay my bills. I had to take a loan out on a car that I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people are going through. And sometimes, your heart moves you to say certain things and do certain things,
Yeah,
and you have to follow your heart
definitely.
because those things that you do can, you know, further down in line, you never know. I tell people all the time, that's why it's good to be good to people. Don't worry about that person begging on the street. Like there's times I've passed people begging on the street and people are like, oh, why are you giving them money? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You never know. You never know where that person would be 2, 3, 4, 10 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just need to be more loving as a whole. We have a question I have been neglecting. Bernadette says, first impressions aren't what it is actually, because Rainisha's first impression of me was definitely different from what she learned. Yes. Okay. Um, why you? Why you? Okay. Uh, I was actually watching this sermon by Sarah Jakes. Oh my God, she really has the spirit of the Lord in her. I was watching Sarah Jakes, and she was talking about the right to remain silent and why you shouldn't use it in one. I think this is the second most, well, besides your relationship with the Most High or whoever you believe in, the second most important relationship would have to be your spouse, if you have one. Why I say that is because you and your spouse create a home, and you leave that home with your best representative, and you go out there into the world and you give people your energy that you created at home. Now, if your home is broken, if there's something wrong with you and your spouse, how are you going to be reflecting towards the world? Some people don't know how to turn it off and
No.
go out there and act like nothing is wrong. So when our home is broken, essentially it affects everything else, our business, our friendships, because I might call you and I'm mad at my husband and I'm snapping on you for no reason. You know, it could affect our
And that
businesses.
happens. That's why they always, a lot of different places I've worked have said to detach. Um, just like Miss Bernadette, we that's how we met at work. But and I didn't have a problem with her first impression. Everybody was scared of her because she had that good resting bitch face. I can tell you that. And everybody in our group was like, "Oh, I'm so scared of her. I'm so scared of her." I was like, "She's just a person." But they were, everybody had something to say about her. And I was just like, I mean, if she's serious, she's just serious. We're at work. People don't understand how to detach. You're at work and when you're at play.
Yep,
People feel like people should be bubbly and jumpy all the time. No, when it's time to be serious, it's a time to be serious. It's a time for
absolutely.
everything. So, and people don't, sometimes that's hard for people to understand. I don't know why, but definitely, you know, relationships at home, especially, that is a big one. If you, because I know for myself, like everybody always say, "Oh, you're so happy you talk to everybody," but I'm not gonna lie. If me and my husband is not on the same accord
I don't feel like talking to nobody.
at all,
Yep,
at all, it's nothing you could tell me. But when we're all lovey-dovey and happy, and he's fulfilling my needs, I'm fulfilling his needs. The house is happy. It's almost like even the kids are happy. The dog is happy. It's like having
not
a
the
white picket
dog.
fence. Everybody happy.
Absolutely, because why? Because your spouse is your sounding board. That's the only person that you feel super duper comfortable going to and being like, "This is what happened to me today. This is exactly how I felt about it," and hold nothing back. So when you are hitting that wall and you can't get through to your spouse, or your
And you
spouse
can't
can't get through to
release.
you, then what is there? What are you bringing out there to the world? And so she says that once that communication or once that relationship is at that point where it's broken, it becomes time to fix the way you're communicating. And I'm bringing this up because I share with the world what I'm going through because it might help somebody. And that word for me was just like a slap in the. I felt like God put me in the room to listen to. It was like, listen, listen good. Because if you ask my husband, I've been giving him lots of attitude lately. And why is that? Because of the stuff that's going around us. But I have to remember that we are teammates together instead of we're not
Exactly.
fighting with each other. Once I had to come to that, once I came to that, realization that we're supposed to be fighting together instead of fighting with one another, everything changed. Now I'm able to be a little bit more happier. Now I'm able to skip down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like this morning, I just shoot off random "Good morning, have a great week" text. Even I looked at myself like, "Self, are you okay?" Because that's not you. you know so relationships as a whole, I think we as a whole take for granted how important relationships are. Because even me, like sometimes I feel more comfortable in my solitude, but solitude is so lonely. It's so lonely, and then you give yourself room to overthink, and overthinking can kill relationships and much more. We have another comment from Bernadette. And she says, and that's why I love her. She feels what I feel. Awesome. Bernadette, what advice for relationships do you have that you can share with us? And same
Oh, I don't
question
know if
for
you
you.
want to ask Bernadette that.
Why not?
Bernadette's advice is knock them out.
Do you have? Okay. Now, so I'm guessing we're done talking about relationships. The question was supposed to be, are they important or is solo dolo better? What do you think? Before we move on, is it lagging?
No,
So what do you think? Is solo dolo better or relationships? Are you all for?
I think I'm all for relationships because you can't be a lone ranger.
I think
I'm definitely for a relationship. There are times that you need to be solo. You need to regroup. You need to think. You need to process. You need to work on yourself. But what people need to understand, we're better off united
absolutely,
than apart.
absolutely, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I believe there should be a happy medium. Take time for yourself, but also invest into relationships too, because you never know what could come out of it. Like, and it doesn't even have to be monetary or something superficial like a gift, but something that somebody says to you can just open up and change your whole perspective. You know. So I would like to use our last few minutes, however long we're going to be on this live, to introduce Carrie's Guardian Angels officially, let you know guys know what it's about, and let you guys know what we're trying to do, and so that you can donate some money, honey. I will give Rainisha the floor. So explain to us
Okay.
who Carrie's Guardian is, what we do, and what we need from our community in order to bring forth our lovely project.
Okay. So what we need from our community, we need some time. We need you guys to donate your time.
Wait,
We
you
need you
gotta let
guys
them
to
know what
start
they're donating
donating.
first.
Huh?
You gotta let them know what they're donating to first.
Well, of course, of course. So let me get into that. So Carrie's Guardian Angel was a vision of a safe haven. It's a place for women, children, adults, elders to go get care, to get help. There's so many resources out there that people are not aware of. Like, for instance, I just went on a case this weekend with a patient, and she was there crying about her friend. She said a friend, you know, doesn't have anybody to help her. Like, she has insurance that pays for us to come in and help, but the friend doesn't. She's just living off of her Social Security. And, I had to explain to her, there are programs to help for people who can't afford care. There's a thing called senior helpers, where they're volunteers that go to people's homes for free for 2 to 3 hours and do little things for them that other people who have the money that can pay for.
Okay.
There's stuff like that, resources like that people aren't aware of. So we would be a safe haven in our office. You come to our office, we sit down with you, we do an assessment. We'll find out what your needs are, what your relationship needs are, what your goals are, as far as job, as far as housing. What are you looking for? What do you need? And we're gonna hand over as much resources as we can find. Now, and of course, we have to keep the light on. We have to keep the office open. So these are the reasons why we are looking for donations at this time, as well as we are looking to, in the future, being able to even getting a apartment building where we
Yes.
can house people while they're homeless,
Yes.
while they're in transition, coming out of recovery, whether it's coming out of women in distress. Because you go to these programs, they help you, but there is a timestamp and it has an expiration. What happens after that expiration if your stuff is not together? What happens is Carrie's guardian angels happen. So we'll be able to take you in, put you up somewhere, you know, work with you, coach you, help you with
Basically,
your
hold your
resume, help
hand
you with
until you're
job
able
training.
to get back on your feet.
Yeah, and what we're doing as well is building a network. We're building a network with trade schools. We're building networking with, real estate investors, stuff like that, so we can have a whole umbrella just to go ahead and service our community, to unify our community and be there with all the unnecessary foolishness that they put you through just to give you help. We want to cut that and we want to be a one-stop shop. I don't want to say, oh, we can only provide the housing, but no, I can't help you with your resume. No, we don't want to be that agency. We want to be there for the long haul, for the full thing, making sure that you're getting everything, advocating for you, advocating for you with your insurance, advocating with you, with all the other agencies that's going to be helping you as well. So that's what Carrie's Guardian Angel is about, unifying our community, getting people solid ground, teaching them financials that, I mean, this financial thing, every time you think you got a handle on it, it's something else pops in, okay? So I'm telling you,
When
especially
something
with the
becomes up in
credit,
your face.
trying to purchase a house, it's hard. It's hard. And it's hard navigating through the information because there's so much information coming from every direction. And a lot of people who can help you with this information charge an arm and a leg. And I've seen it with my own two eyes. And I feel like it's ludicrous. It's unfair. A good bit of this information is free out there to the public. You just don't know where to look. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and we need your help. We are serving you, the community. So those of you who don't need necessarily our help, you can help us help other people by donating. Where you'll be able to donate is carriesguardianangels.com or .org. Is it .com?
.org.
.org. Okay, so let me write
And
it
you
in
can
the
just click on the PayPal link if you want to do a monetary donation. But keep in mind, we don't need money only. Clothes is winter time is coming up, people. There are families out there. People come December, that CDC is gonna be over. We're gonna have a lot of people out there that need help. They're gonna need clothes. We're gonna need food. Thanksgiving, Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link up soon for a food drive. So we want to start collecting food so we can give out to these people in these homeless shelters, and people who are in halfways currently. I want to be able to deliver food to them. Let's let's go ahead and show the world that we have some humanity. Okay, let's get together, gather up this money, get this food out, get clothes out, blankets, jackets. These are things that are going to be needed very, very soon. As you can tell, the weather's already changing, and there's people out there underneath the bridge. We got to come together. I'm not saying bring them in your house, but let's come together and at least put some blankets out there, something, a
Yeah.
can of food that they could just take a lighter and heat it up.
And we already have a few places in mind that we'd love to start our shelter. So, or let's put it out there: if you are a real estate investor with a few properties that you wouldn't mind for Carrie's Guardian to use to host our clients, please feel free to reach out to either Renisha or myself. Um, I will be putting my contact information in the description boxes below, so you can email me or you can call me. You'll also be able to reach out to Rainisha, or you can call me and I'll put you guys together. But it's time for us to change the world. 2020, I feel like we are in the midst of creating a new normal, and what that new normal is love, because that's what the world was lacking, in my
Yes.
opinion. That's what the world was lacking. Everybody was more so out for self, like, if you can't do nothing for me, then what am I doing for you for? And that's not the way we should operate. We should all operate out of love, because once we give, we receive the same energy. So by you giving $5 to somebody homeless in the street, You never know. Somebody might turn around and bless you with 1,000 or bless you with something else that you really needed. So don't be stingy. Love one another. And
And it's
yeah,
holiday time.
yeah. Oh, it's about to be Thanksgiving. Oh, it's about to be Turkey Day. Hey.
Exactly. Let's get it together.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. One last time, I want to publicly wish Renisha happy birthday, Forever
Thank you,
25,
love.
and a happy wedding anniversary, and infinite more years to come.
And
And
it's 7 years, y'all. So, my dream, I'm just going to put it out there. My birthday wish is twins. I want to be pregnant with twins. So, you guys send that out into the universe. I want my twins,
she wants twin boys or twin girls?
a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl for her, two girls for me. Wishing on me too. All right, y'all. That is all the time that we have for today's show. Thank you so much for joining. Remember that you can donate money, clothes, toys, food to Carrie's Guardian Angels at carriesguardianangels.org. We really need your help to get our mission off the ground because we're just trying to help people out here, help people, love people, and give people as much education and support as possible. Next week we will be back with another banger right here, same place, same time, Monday at 6 p.m. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching.
See you on Monday.
See you on Monday.